Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. So, I'm now regretting that I did not make this review early this morning like I actually wanted to do. And then I waited, and when I wanted to do it a couple of hours after I'd gotten up and all that stuff, all kinds of stuff started happening. Then it got pushed back. Now there's quietness and all this serene, and it's the time that I wanted to call my mother, so I called my mother and I talked to her. And while I'm on the phone with her and we were actually ending our conversation, I'm on my phone and I'm like, did you hear anything about Kobe Bryant being killed? She was like, what'd you say? So y'all excuse me, I'm eating some sorbet that I made, mixed up and all that stuff. I didn't add any juice, just water and a little bit of agave nectar. So, I didn't want to be rude and just be eating. Y'all be looking like, she doing all this and she's supposed to be doing a review and just talking to us or whatever. So, yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know this is it. It's, one is mango and the other is cherries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. So, yeah. So, y'all excuse me for eating. I haven't eaten. When I found out about all that stuff going on with him, I didn't think that I would feel the way that I feel. And I literally have been sitting in the dark for 2 hours. It's almost 7 o'clock p.m. here, and it gets dark earlier and all that stuff now. But yeah, it was already somewhat of a gloomy day as the day progressed. So it's like, y'all, I might do a thoughts video on it, but I'm trying not to bring how I feel and let it show in this video for the review. So, just in case somebody wants to see or know what kind of shirt this is and I'm wearing, what it says. This is a shirt that I was saving for next month, but I mean, ain't nobody really get to see it. So, I mean, they was gonna see it anyway next month. But yeah, this is all that it says, and it was a $4 shirt. I like it. And all that good stuff. So yeah, y'all. Let me get my life together. Okay, y'all. So Tate is out and about at a bar getting drunk, drinking his feelings because, he knows that Ghost is out here winning and he ain't. So he looking like, well, my life is over politically. Let me drown my sorrows in all this alcohol. So he doing the most. I guess one of the bartenders or waitresses that works at that specific one knows him and they've slept together before. So he's making all these random advances while very drunk. And it's to the point where old girl called his brother, which is, his actual brother in real life, and told him that he needs to come and get his brother. And so he gets him. He is like blacked out drunk. He don't even know what's going on. So he wakes up the next day at the house, at his brother's house. And I think he's trying to realize what's going on because he's hearing noises and people talking, and it's his brother, his sister-in-law, and his nephew. So they're in the midst of a conversation. The son is really smart, and he's asking them if they know what capital of Michigan is. And somebody said Flint, and somebody said Grand Rapids. I think the wife said Grand Rapids and the husband said Flint. And, of course, Tate, even though he's hungover, he comes down the stairs and gives them the right answer. And all that good stuff. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I had to go ahead and finish that stuff up because I was just like, I ain't want to just keep eating and eating and eating. This ain't no mukbang channel. So anyway, you know, Tate really was in his feelings about all this stuff. So he eventually was going to go and meet up with some people that had connections to the person who is running for governor. And that is this woman whose last name is Walsh. What's her name? Loretta or something? Y'all, I don't remember. Anyway. So before that happens, while he was in the bar, even though he was drunk, he called the person who is Cedric the Entertainer's character. A lot of people were wondering if he was in this. Yes, he is. We'll get to that later. So anyway, him and his son, you know, they have been contracted by him to come and handle Ghost, essentially. And they looking like, yeah, we ain't trying to come up there. And he looking like, y'all need to get down here right now. So he doing the most. And, you know, they actually are in the middle of their own job, which is taking care of some man who is a child molester, pervert, and everything else under the sun. Apparently, he messes with little girls, and they were trying to slowly torture him. And Cedric the Entertainer's character is teaching his son his ways as far as how he does things to these various people that they're doing work on and all that good stuff, y'all. So it's getting on my nerves. Anyway, see, that one's doing right, but this one, y'all, I don't even want to go into that. Anyway, so they were literally in the middle of doing all that. Y'all, Cedric the Entertainer is hilarious. He's sitting up there playing a country song. It's a country song I actually hadn't heard in a really long time, and it's good. Y'all need to go ahead, Shazam that, or however y'all get music that y'all hear if you never heard before, or a song that you've been wanting to know what it was, and you gotta try to snatch it out the air as it's playing. I like that song. If you're into country music, and you don't know nothing about that song, you should, you know, look that up and see what it's about. I like that song. I had not heard that song in a long time, but anyway, he was being silly. He played that song, and it got to a point where he ended up just shooting the man in the back of the head and killing him, because he was like, "Are you sure you're never gonna touch little girls again?" And he was like, "No, I promise." Lies. Ain't nobody got time. He just went on ahead and killed him, went on about his business. So Tate rolled up on Walsh and somebody that's like helping her campaign, and Ramona is actually in a meeting with them talking about the direction that they're trying to go. Lord have mercy. Every single time I do a video, somebody just sent me 3 attachments. Like, Lord. Anyway, they're having a meeting, and they're trying to see what direction that they're trying to have things to go in, dealing with James being a part of them and on the ticket and all that stuff. So then Tate rolls up, and he wants to talk to the guy who's like kind of behind everything and helping, you know, the campaign. And so they're looking like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So he getting his feelings, and he's actually trying to persuade them against going with James, of course. They ain't trying to hear that. He get mad. He said, "F all y'all," and walk out. I was like, no. He's so deep in his feelings. He done went to go and talk to his pastor. And his pastor's trying to give him, you know, what he needs to hear. And he ain't trying to hear that. And he looking like, if God feel this kind of way, or if he see me trying, that he need to do this. And like, I was just like he really, like, you could tell how bad and how deep he's in his feelings. Because I'm like, I know you mad, but all right now, you're doing too much. You're doing a lot. So then soon after that, he goes to his headquarters to, you know, kind of look over things, and he's just in his feelings and looking at what he thought was going to be a promising future for himself, because he had the headquarters and he seemed like he was going to be the one who was going to really reel it in. So then that's when we are, you know, reintroduced to the scene that we saw originally that had him, Blanca, and Saxe when they rolled up on him. Wanted to know if, you know, he had a moment to discuss James, St. Patrick, and all this other stuff. So it kind of looked like they try to make us feel like, oh, this is a sign from God. I can get Ghost caught up. And I'm like, oh gosh, if you don't go somewhere and sit down. So of course, he trying to be on board with them and trying to do whatever he can to, get himself back in the race. So, he gonna do whatever he feel like he gotta do. So then after his conversation with them, he goes and meets up with Cedric the Entertainer's character and the son, and he's like, look, I got some good news for y'all. Thank you for coming here to New York, but, your services are no longer needed. I got it taken care of because, he really think he got it in the bag because of whatever information that he's fed Blanca, Rodriguez, and Saxe. So Cedric the Entertainer's character ain't trying to hear nothing he talking about. He was like, nah, what we not finna do is that. You contracted me to do a job, run me my money. He gonna die or you gonna die, and I'm gonna get my money. So it's kind of like, no matter what you say, I'm gonna get my money, and you gotta do what you gotta do. So basically, the hit is gonna have to stay on because, of course, Tate doesn't want to die. Y'all, I can't. It's a crazy episode. It wasn't that great, but it was still, everything is better than Paz's episode. I'm gonna forever read on that. Everything was better than Paz's episode, so that's the good thing about it. So then we are again reintroduced to the scene where Tate rolls up on Ghost, and he's in his feelings, still. He's like, I can't believe you passed the background check. So then, of course, we see where, he reading him, Ghost. He's reading Tate and all this other stuff. And then, like, Ghost is so cocky. What we're actually now connecting, if we didn't connect it before, was Tate is trying to do right. He has had a crooked past when he was a cop, but he's trying to do right in this moment and warn James that there's a hit out and he needs to be careful and lay low because some people are after him. Every time he tried to warn him, he was just like, nah, bruh. And, he kept saying something slick to him, right? Then it's like when you try to tell somebody something and they get like that, it makes you want to be like, well, forget you then. But then, like, he said something about his son, and then he kind of wanted to be like, dang it, man, he got a son. Let me warn him. He still wasn't trying to hear him, so ain't nothing he can do at this point. So, like I said, he's in his feelings. So he went to some, like, donut shop, coffee shop or whatever, and he wanted to get a coffee. All he wanted was a coffee. The woman who was there, who was going to take his order, recognized who he was. She set it off. The owner of the store or whatever it was some black woman. She set it all the way off like she lives for him. She had a phone case created, dedicated to him. Everybody that was in that establishment lived for him. And so people are like, oh my gosh, we're talking about you and your case that you had while I'm in college. I'm talking about everybody that set it off. I want a picture. Can I get an autograph? This, like, he really is like getting a renewed sense of why he's here. And he kind of feels like he still has a dog in this fight. I mean, at this point he doesn't, but all of that, like, people are really, like, of all ages are living for him. And they're like, well, I still feel like you're going to make it or whatever. And they really feel like he going to make it. And I'm like, why? Why? But anyway, he had the bright idea to ask everyone to take a picture with him. And it was posted on social media and all this other stuff. So he's kind of trying to drum up some, press so that the people, the Democratic Party, can understand that he really can be an asset and that people really do want to still deal with him, even though they feel otherwise. So he's, feeling high and, feeling really, really happy, walking on clouds and all this other stuff. He then went back to the campaign office. Who is there? None other than the heifer who was married, who was screwing him. And y'all know what happened with that. She went on somewhere else, and, she was like, the only way that I can, move on from this, because I'm already about to get divorced from my husband after all this stuff happened. She got like a seat at the Senate or somewhere. Like, she got a seat somewhere, y'all. Like, she got a really high-powered position because of that. She's sitting up in there because she still got keys And I'm like, girl, why you still got keys? So she's sitting up in there. She has seen the post that he put up with that picture of him and those people. And of course, they actually sent her to deliver a message to him and be like, yeah, you need to go somewhere and sit down. We ain't backing you. Go somewhere and sit down. That's all you need to know. You over here trying to have this renewed sense of worth and self and thinking that something about to pop off when it ain't. They ain't backing you. So you need to just go on ahead and say, I am done and I'm going to just back Walsh and all this other stuff. He ain't trying to hear that. So here's the scene that, everybody, was buzzing about when they thought they saw Cedric the Entertainer, and then they eventually got the confirmation that it was him. So they show us the scene like in its entirety. They're showing us where Ghost arrives. They are following him. Oh, well, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that what they did initially was they wanted to learn his schedule and just see what he does. So they were following him. They felt like they had a good handle on how he was going to move. So they followed him to the area where Tommy was going to meet up with Ghost. They're thinking that he's alone, first of all, and he wasn't. So they get out from the car that they're in, parked somewhere, where he didn't even see them come in at. They go in their trunk and they go to the little false part of it and they lift it up, and you see all kinds of assault rifles and all kinds of guns and things up in there. So they get the guns of their choice and they start going into the little warehouse, and they're out on the roof or out wherever they at or whatever. And so they get into position, right? Tell me why. The son had a clear shot. This could have literally been the person who shot and killed Ghost, but the son is a trash shot. So he had a clear shot. He over here really cocky, thinking he finna do something. He over here missing, as we've seen. So, they thought that it was the Italians or something. No, it's them. So they get into a shootout. Cedric the Entertainer's character looking at him like, dang, here we go. So, because he's looking at his son like, really? I would have been mad. I would have been mad. But anyway, y'all, they get into the shootout. That's when Cedric the Entertainer's character go down. And the boy in his feelings. He in his feelings, and, he try to bust back and all this other stuff. And somehow he gets away. He waits for a while and he's able to get away. Y'all gonna see later on, because people are stupid. People are just stupid. That's all I'm gonna say for now. One of the people who was working for Tate, came and he wanted to retrieve some contacts that he had on a hard drive and all this other stuff. And so he's looking at him like, well, I mean, technically that doesn't belong to you or whatever. And so he get in his feelings and he throw mugs at this man's head. And I'm like, why are you so mad? Tate is fuming. He has talked to Dre. Dre comes in actually after the guy leaves and was on his way out. And so he looking like, Dre, what you want? So this is when he started feeding him all this information about Tariq and all this other stuff. So he thinks, oh, here we go again. Here come God showing out on my behalf. Okay. Y'all, so of course he runs over to Tasha's daycare to try to feed the information to her. And she ain't trying to hear nothing he's saying like that, so whatever. At some point in time after the shootout happened, the son calls Tate and he's like, you got us messed up in this. Why didn't you tell us that he wasn't alone, that he was meeting up with somebody? And he was like, what you talking about? Because he was like driving on his way somewhere. I think he was on his way to go see Tasha, or on his way leaving from Tasha's. And so he looking like, why you didn't tell us that he was with somebody? My dad got killed back there. I had to leave him. And I'm looking like, he told you not to do it. So you can't be mad at him. I mean, essentially, even though he initially did call you down here. But he did tell you to go on back home. Bye. Y'all, so this boy really is in his feelings. And Tate, he over here trying to act like the phone breaking up and he hung up on him. So later on that night, he went back to his brother's house, and the nephew was gonna take some trash outside. So he was like, no, nephew, I got it, I'll take it out. Of course, it's obvious that old boy gonna roll up, and he did. So he done rolled up, and he got a gun on him. Of course, Tate's not a police officer anymore, and I guess he don't feel as though he needs to have protection on him, even though he is a public figure still. So, you know, he's there, and old boy in his feelings to the point where he like, no matter what Tate said to him, he was like, I ain't trying to hear nothing you talking about, because he was like, we can discuss this, I can fix this, I can't bring your daddy back, but you know, whatever. He looking at him like, I ain't trying to hear nothing you talking about. My dad is gone. What we finna do is we finna go up in that house, and you gonna watch me kill all your family in front of you, then I'm gonna kill you. So I'm waiting for the next obvious thing to happen, and it did, which was his brother came out and shot old boy up. And so I was just like, Lord, this is crazy. This is crazy. What in the world? But anyway, I was just like, okay, yeah, this is a lot going on. Because then he gonna sit up there and lie to his brother when, of course, since he is trying to be like on the straight and narrow as a police officer, he's asking him, you know, well, what happened? Why was he, you know, rolling up on you? He over here trying to lie, talking about it was a robbery, and maybe he was on something. I really think he was on something. Like, he really kept trying to make up stuff on the spot that didn't make no sense. And so his brother looking at him like, oh, I don't know about all this. And he doesn't come around. So he doesn't know how that neighborhood is. Apparently that neighborhood has changed, and they have not had any crime or any bloodshed in quite some time, or if ever, and all this other stuff. So his story ain't adding up. And the wife is just relieved that he wasn't able to get into the house, because she's already upset because of what happened to him, and she believing the lies. And you know, the brother know his brother, and he looking like, nah, what's really going on? What really happened? So he really didn't even tell him what happened in that moment. So he's left wondering, okay, like, what is really going on? So then he gets a phone call or text message or something, and he was like, wow, there's an emergency at my headquarters. Y'all, ain't no emergency over there. What happened was, they wanted to seize everything that had anything to do with the DNC. And he was like, really? Y'all couldn't wait until the morning? And then they took everything out of there. I mean, you're not running for anything, so why would you need any of that stuff? You can't just hold on to the stuff. So they came and took all that stuff. They don't play when it comes to that stuff. You gotta go. Walsh and, you know, Ghost's silent partner, what's his name, Simon, or I don't know. Like, he has played in so many shows, I might be saying the wrong name. But anyway, the silent partner and Walsh that rolled up on Tate, and, you know, they're trying to get him to just say, you know, I'm backing out of this. I am putting forth all of my effort and everything into these people running, and he ain't trying to hear that. Then we see Dre and Tate have their exchange and all that, as far as him getting the plates and the new IDs and all that. His brother wanted to know where he was, and, you know, he literally had just finished up everything with Dre, and he wanted to know how much longer he was going to be there. And he was like, well, you know, I'm almost done or whatever. So he said, all right, I'm on my way. So he was going to go pick him up, because at this point, of course, they're going to need more information. They need to know what's going on. And he feels like it's holes in the story, and he's still trying to hold on to the lies. And so he takes him down to the station, and he tell them all what he want them to know. And of course, it's a situation where they don't really care, because it's another black body that's not on the streets. So they don't really care. So they did this little brotherhood type of crap where they were like fist bumping and all this. And they even wanted to include him on it, because, you know, he is ex-police. And I'm just like, he played along, and I was just like, okay, whatever, I'm tired. Y'all gotta stop. So then they're finishing all this up, and then of course they were like, okay, talking to his brother takes his job very seriously. They were like, well, you know, since, you know, this was an officer a officer involved shooting, you know, you got to give up your gun and all this other stuff. He ain't his feelings. He was like, no, man, what you mean? I give up my gun. He was like, you know how it go. And he really was about to just give him their gun. And that's when everything came down about James St. Patrick. They talking about we need all hands on deck. Anybody that's in the building, you gotta go to the scene, all this other stuff. So basically, he didn't get his gun taken because he had to go. So he over here looking like what? All he knows at this moment, as far as you know, Rashad Tate is concerned, all he knows is that somebody has been killed. You know what I'm saying? He knew there was a shooting. He randomly asked, you know, oh well, what's going on? I know that that's you know his place. Who got hurt? And he really trying to act like he don't know what's going on. And they were like, all we can tell you right now is that one person has been killed. So they are on the way to the scene. His brother done told him off rip, stay in the car, don't get out this car. I done said what I said. So he sat there for a minute, then he got on out the car. He got on this hoodie. And he was trying to walk up in there like he fit. I'm just like, who are you? Who are you to just sit up here and think, oh, I'm just in plain clothes in a hoodie at nighttime. Let me just walk up here like I own the place. So there was a reporter who recognized him and wanted to get a word from him. Of course, he had everything perfect to say in the moment, and they were recording live, and his brother was standing on the sidelines, and when he was done with his speech, he was like, where you come up with that BS from on the spot? He was like, I had a lot of practice. So everybody get the confirmation about what it was, who it was, all this other stuff. And so his brother know his brother. He knows him. He already know, like, all right, now you acting too strange. So it's just too much. He's just looking at him like, all right, now you getting caught up in stuff. I don't know what it is. So after everything was said and done, of course, Walsh needs a black face, body, all of that to replace the one that has been killed. So she has to come back to him and grovel, so to speak, and, you know, kind of renegotiate what she initially wanted him to do. And he took advantage of that moment. He was like, you know, I kind of forgot what you know, were asking me and wanted to know. So can you, you know, tell me what you're talking about again? And so she looked at him like, you already know. He was like, nah, I kind of need to hear it. And so she had to ask him and say please and all this other stuff. And, you know, of course, he was like, yeah, I'll accept it on one condition, that I can be the one who can run for governor. She looking like, are you crazy? Oh my gosh, and tell me why it worked. It worked. I was like, what? This is not real life. I cannot. Goodbye. Y'all, he over here making his rounds. Of course, he did like everybody else do. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it happen. It's happened in my church before where people have done stuff like this. He done went to the church house. And he up in there preaching to them and all this, and they living for it. And then he leaves. And a reporter is outside. He's talking to the reporter. And tell me why. Before that even happened, Ramona rolled up on him and was like, how dare you? Shame on you. All this other stuff. Y'all, for some reason, he decided to be petty beyond belief and said to the reporter that James St. Patrick and Ramona have been having an affair. They are together. They sleep together, all this other stuff. And like, she was like some distance away. She didn't even know this went down. Oh my God. I was like, wait a minute. You done went off. And I mean, he really tried to imply that all of this was going on while he was still with his wife, and they literally have never had sex, y'all. Like, he did the most. Simon rolled up on him while he was celebrating all this other stuff. And so Tate had the audacity to ask him, like, you know, you over here trying to back me now. Why didn't you back me back then? And he was like, you didn't serve a purpose for me back then. That's why. And now you do. Like, I'm like, that is common sense. Why are you trying to act like you don't know how the game go? Come on now. So anyway, they done made the agreement and all this other stuff. And, you know, he gonna still be shady on all kinds of random levels. He done sat up here and called the heifer that was cheating on her husband. They done screwed again. She talking about some, you still got it. And then Ramona done popped up while she over there. This heifer think that she got a leg in the door. She thinking she finna be on his arm. Nope. You are wrong, ma'am. He politely told her, you know, this was fun. But yeah, I hope you don't think that this was actually like something or whatever. That woman got so mad. It's hilarious. I'm like, oh, you thought you were the one. You thought you were somebody. You ain't got no good husband no more, and you ain't got him. Oh, you gonna be all right. So he ended up telling, you know, her, you know, that she can go ahead and buy her business. And she literally was the one who paid for this elaborate. I thought they was in some massive house. They were in some room. I don't know what kind of room. Where is this? Whoever live in New York, let me know where is this place and how much is that per day, per night, or whatever to pay for it. Like, what is going on? He politely thanked her for paying for the room. And then told her to go ahead and go about her business. He over here looking at the news, and the news says that they have James St. Patrick's killer. And of course, they're showing his reaction, and he's like shocked or whatever, and we don't see anything. But anyway, I'm wondering if the leaked episode that I saw, just as this one, if it's going to be the exact same one. So yeah, this one was exactly what I saw before. And, you know, I skimmed through it to see if it was the same one, and it was. So I was like, I didn't miss nothing and whatever. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that the final episode, when it comes on in, a couple of weeks, that it's going to be the exact same one that leaked. So I'm not worried about it. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review, even though I was all over the place and doing the most, because I'm in my feelings a little bit about all this stuff that happened. Anyway, y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all later on for something else.